Cyrus Allen had a huge game against Kansas, but is the receiving corps ready to step up against Iowa State?
You are Locked On Bearcats, your daily podcast on the Cincinnati Bearcats, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into Locked On Bearcats. My name is Jeff Carr, and I'm all Cincinnati all the time. I've worked in multiple university athletic departments, and I've been a football season ticket holder for 7 years now down at Nippert Stadium. Locked On Bearcats is part of the Locked On Podcast Network. We are your team, your Bearcats, every single day. And on today's podcast, Russ Heltman is back, and he's going to help us tell you exactly how Saturday will go down, allegedly. In just a few minutes, we will look at just how the defense can improve the most against a very tough matchup. But we'll begin with the pass catchers on this episode that is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every detail because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward. Mazda, move and be moved. And joining us, as he always does, the most trusted voice around Clifton, he is Russ Heltman. Russ, what you got for me, man?
It's another beautiful day in the tri-state area, ready to look ahead to Iowa State 0-5, Jeff. 0-5 in ranked games since the college football playoff. They got their best chance since that hallowed day to get the job done on Saturday.
I got an interesting stat for that one that our Iowa State guy gave me. We'll talk about that a little bit later on when we make our predictions, though, because I want to start with Cyrus Allen. I want to start with this receiving crew. Like, really seems like they had a great day against Kansas, did a good job of really hauling in some key plays. I mean, as much as we gave Brendan Sorsby a ton of credit and Scott Satterfield a ton of credit for the scheme and for the execution, like, the receivers were getting open and they were making the plays. And it kind of feels like that was a moment even for them to kind of show that, like, yeah, this new group of dudes that came in trying to help be an influx of life for this position group really started to show out last Saturday.
That it did. I mean, you got three different guys with 35 plus yards, four different guys with 35 plus yards, three different guys with 3+, four different guys with 3+ catches. I keep trying to show them short right there, and headed up by Cyrus Allen, who has taken the bull by the horns as the go-to wide receiver in this staff, and a receiver talent makeup that UC hasn't had in the Scott Satterfield era, Jeff. They have not had a two-level slot receiver that can take 5, 6, 7 yard in routes, 5, 6, 7 yard slants, and turn them into 30, 40, 50 yard big explosive plays, which UC has been right up there among the best explosive offenses in the entire country so far this season. I got to tip the cap so far, like 3-1 record, and they have pretty much shored up all of the major issues outside of the secondary that have plagued this program over the past couple seasons. The offensive line transition has gone beautifully. The wide receiver additions, I think, have been fantastic given where this program was, Jeff, 2 years ago and where they are today at the wide receiver position. And that's all headed up by and led by Cyrus Allen, who is a hungry player, a guy playing with a chip on his shoulder right now, is getting force-fed targets, 11 catches for 128 yards and 2 touchdowns with a long of 37 in the 37-34 win. And he has just been lights out good, like as efficient as you can get. 27 total targets, 22 catches, 274 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's 13 yards per route run, which is a disgustingly efficient number. That's got, I don't know where that ranks overall nationally, but it's got to be right near the top 20, the top 25, if not top 10 among all wide receivers. And he's doing that, Jeff, not on 4 or 5 dink dunk passes down the field. He's got an average depth of target of 10.1 yards, which means he's getting targeted after the sticks, past the first down marker almost every time he is getting a pass from Brendan Sorsby, who is the highest graded quarterback in the country, minimum 100 attempts, according to Pro Football Focus. This passing offense is dialed in right now, going up against an Iowa State team that is completely depleted due to injury in the secondary.
It's a beautiful thing to think about. And we talk a lot about Brendan Sorsby and how he's kind of been a rhythm quarterback to this point. Do you think that Cyrus Allen was like the perfect get for his, because you combine his skill set with Brendan Sorsby's tendencies, and it kind of feels like that was like the perfect acquisition through the transfer portal.
I agree, because he's a guy that, like, he had that safety blanket in Joe Royer last year, but Joe Royer he's not as athletic, obviously, as Cyrus Allen. He can't separate as consistently down to down as Cyrus Allen. And we saw the issues that Brendan Sorsby had as a passer when he didn't have that intermediate or short target to be able to go to each and every play, stay ahead of the sticks, stay on time, and as you mentioned, stay in rhythm. Cyrus Allen is a rhythm builder all through the first month of the season. And he's a guy that, if he keeps playing like this, Jeff, he's going to be playing on Sundays with this kind of production.
I'd be interested to see how that keeps on going, because you're right. Like the secondary, that is definitely going to be an opportunity for this group as a whole, not even just Cyrus Allen, but for the group as a whole. And that's kind of where it leads me to the next point. And I don't know that it's necessarily like a concern. I think it's a good thing that we have this problem, but like, who is the number 2 guy? Because I don't really know that I can pinpoint a specific guy that I'm like, all right, it's Cyrus Allen, and then it's, don't know, don't have that.
I'd probably say Jeff Caldwell, because he's your field stretcher right now. I think he would be the most impactful guy to lose outside of Cyrus Allen if he were to go down due to injury, because of the space he kind of opens up for the rest of the receiving core when he's taking that field deep. I mean, Brendan Sorsby is not throwing the ball short to our guy, Jeff Caldwell, this season. He has an average depth of target of 15.4 yards across his 12 receptions and 19 total targets. I mean, that is a deep ball threat, to say the least, time in and time out. You'd obviously like to see a little bit more production out of Caldwell, but I think I don't think it's a lack of him playing well. He's graded out pretty well on Pro Football Focus, and it's just kind of a game flow where Brendan Sorsby's seeing open receivers in the reads of the plays that have kind of kept Caldwell from really exploding like Cyrus Allen so far this season. But I would probably lean Caldwell as the second most important guy. But I mean, Jeff, they've had 4 different 100-yard receivers through the first month of the season. That is diversity, that is dynamic, and that is exactly what you want to see if you're Scott Satterfield. All of these different guys with the ability to put up triple digits in the passing attack. You don't really have anybody that you can super key in on and double up on in that sense.
I just keep thinking of like the Oprah meme, like, you get 100 yards, you get 100 yards, you get 100. That's like the whole receiving core. And because of that, and we've said this a couple of times already, like the matchup with this defensive backfield with Iowa State, as much as we have criticized UC's defensive backfield, and we'll get there in just a minute, it kind of feels like Iowa State is almost the Spider-Man meme here when it comes to their defensive backfield, especially because of the injuries that they've suffered.
Yes, it's going to be there's going to be points aplenty on Saturday. We were pretty much, or I don't forget what you predicted last week, but I was convinced we were going to
set under, and I was wrong.
Yeah. Like I was convinced we were going to get points last week, and that's exactly what happened with, I believe, the most combined total yards in any college football game this season so far, with the Bearcats beating Kansas 37-34. I would be shocked if the winner is held under 30 points in this game.
I agree with that. And because of that, there's definitely some concerns and some questions, and exactly where is the Bearcats defense going, because it's taken its share of criticism even after the win at Kansas. But the Bearcats need a big bounce back this Saturday against Rocco Becht and Iowa State. What will that look like? We'll discuss that next. This episode is brought to you by Mazda's Moving the Game Forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, move culture, and keep moving the game forward. And just like I did last week, I'm going to continue to say it this week. The Bearcats offensive line moves things forward. Second week this year that UC has been named the offensive line, the best offensive line in a week in the Big 12, and they showed out against Kansas. Kansas had a long streak of games with at least 2 sacks. UC stopped that. They did give up 1, but that was their only sack they've given up all year long, and the running game is absolutely humming. And when you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to a Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. And it's almost the weekend. Time to look back and crown this week's MVP on Who Delivered, powered by DoorDash. Just like you can win every Saturday with DoorDash streaks, saving more every time you order, these players delivered when it mattered most. Let's break it down. We're giving this one to Cyrus Allen. Massive, ginormous, huge game against Kansas. He was all over the place with 11 catches, over 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That was a huge game for Cyrus Allen, especially for the fact that Joe Royer did not play for a huge chunk in this game. Cyrus Allen leads the Bearcats in receiving after this game, after the win in Kansas, and he looked phenomenal doing so. Just like Cyrus Allen delivered for the Bearcats, DoorDash delivers your Saturdays. With DoorDash streaks, you save every Saturday you order. Stack it all up in the season, and you could save up to $250, including $100 in DoorDash credits. Order this Saturday. Keep this streak alive. Fuel your game day only with DoorDash. Terms apply. Promo period is good through November 18th. Thank you for making Locked On Bearcats part of your day. I invite you to make it part of your everyday routine. Hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or on your favorite podcasting app. We're on all of them out there, free and available everywhere you get your podcasts. All right, Russ, we talked a lot about the receivers. Let's dive into the defense here, because this is a tough matchup. Rocco Becht coming on in, and Rocco Becht, I know he got preseason Heisman hype. He's not there, but he's a good quarterback, and he's seen a lot of things. He's kind of in the same experience level as Jalen Daniels. I wonder if we see the same kind of explosive plays that he has, like Jalen Daniels has, but I think that he will be very content to take the cushion that the defensive backfield has given so far and really go with the short passing game and just kind of carve up UC's defense. Do you think there's going to be a change schematically from Tyson Veit?
I'm not sure. I mean, it felt like they just they were in the give them 10 yards. We'll keep stuff in front of us, try to keep everything in front of us against Kansas. That happened for the most part of the game, but they I forget the speedster return man and wide receiver for Kansas.
Oh, Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. That dude is electric. 275 plus yard touchdowns. I mean, it didn't work all game long, that's for sure. And I think it's going to work a little better in terms of the 3-3-5 cover 3 scheme out of Tyson Veit in this matchup, because I would be floored if we don't see Dontay Corleone on the field on Saturday afternoon. He looked healthy. He looked ready to go on Tuesday. I think he's going to carry a questionable status right up until the final report, but I would be shocked if he's not starting and getting, what did we talk about last week? Like 35 to 40 snaps is where he was at for the Nebraska game. I don't know if he's going to be at that high a snap count coming off of that injury, but I think 25 to 30 is reasonable to expect. And that should be about half of the snaps going up against a Rocco Becht-led offense that has the quarterback right around 27th. He's currently 24th nationally in ESPN's QBR. So
yeah, when it comes to how they can really put the pressure on him, Dontay Corleone is going to be a huge factor in that. I kind of wonder a little bit too, like, is this
sorry? I had something go off.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Off my background. Anyway, so continuing that, I'll just carry on the point there. The fact that Rocco Becht is that solid, he's very, very good quarterback, but he's never, like you mentioned, he was in the Heisman hype coming in, has not played like a Heisman quarterback. And when he goes up against power conference quarterbacks or power conference defenses in his career, he has not been amazing. In his career against power conference teams, Rocco Becht has about a 7.1 average yards per attempt and is completing about 61% of his passes. So to me, this is a situation for this Bearcats secondary where you try to just keep it in front of you, let Dontay Corleone come back, and you got to find a way, I think, to create some more havoc in this game. They forced the 1 turnover against Kansas in the most timely moment possible. Kansas deserved to win the football game. They were better on success rate than Cincinnati, and post-game win probability, UC held a 24% expected post-game win probability in that one. They were lucky to win the football game after being unlucky to lose the football game against Nebraska. Outside the top 110, Jeff, and havoc rate and pressure rate so far this season, you got to find a way to get some more havoc in there against this Iowa State offense that does not commit a lot of mistakes. And will be willing to take whatever the defense is giving them in front of them.
So I think knowing that, I'm really going to key in, especially when I'm watching the defense, on what is the front six really doing in the 3-3-5. I always keep saying front seven. I know that's a football or reused football term there, but the front six for the Bearcats, what are they going to do to provide that pressure on Rocco Becht? Because like you mentioned, like in order to really get him off schedule, it is putting the pressure on him, getting guys in the backfield. That's going to come from the front seven. It's good, or front six. That's good. That's Dontay Corleone is going to be in this ball game, but we're really going to need to see a lot more pressure from the guys up front. And then I'm with you. I think that they need to draw up more blitz. I felt like Jake Golday kind of got remaindered to the second level against Kansas. He was more of a guy to make sure.
Yeah, you might as well draw up the blitzes because when you weren't blitzing, you were still getting diced up. So at least create a pass rush. And we know Jake Golday can get there and get sacks when you put him in those positions. So I like that.
So for me, he's kind of like the X factor here, right? Like get him in the backfield for, really draw up some stunts. Maybe he's over here, he's over there. Make this offensive line worry about where he lines up.
I'm with you. They haven't really done a whole lot of that, but he has been mixed in around maybe a couple snaps here and there. They're more so doing that with Jalen Hunt. They're kind of making him their big defensive end on the outside and doing it that way. But don't expect this defense to really shut down this offense, people. Like, I think you should expect better than 34 points allowed performance. But even with Dontay Corleone coming back, I mean, Iowa State, number 15 nationally in EPA per rush, number 54 nationally in EPA per dropback, 24th in quality drive rate. Let's see how that compares to Cincinnati's defense. Well, 103rd in EPA per dropback this season, 110th in quality drive rate. UC is allowing a quality drive on nearly 52% of opponent possessions. That's just not going to cut it right now where we currently sit. And they're even worse when you look at the early downs EPA. They're allowing the offenses to really get after it in those early downs, 114th nationally in early downs EPA allowed. UC, they're going to have to find some maybe 2-3 fourth down stops in this game, Jeff, because of the kicking situation for the Iowa State Cyclones. Both their kickers are injured. The only kicker they have left on the roster is a walk-on freshman who's never attempted a field goal. I personally don't expect him to attempt a field goal this weekend. So that means a lot of fourth down going situations for the Cyclones. I'd be shocked if they don't go for it on the Cincinnati side of the field, really in any scenario, 4th and 8 or less. So UC's defense probably going to be facing some more snaps in that sense. And that's not a great sign for the Bearcats defense because Jeff, they are 107th nationally in 3rd and 4th down success rate allowed this season. So
don't love that.
There's just a recipe for a lot of points on the table at Nippert this Saturday.
And I wonder too, because they were able to win the turnover battle at Kansas, and albeit it was 1-0, but at least you win the turnover battle.
Right. And Brendan Sorsby contributing to that. He has cut his turnover-worthy play rate in half this year, Jeff, from 3% to 1.5%. That may not seem like a big deal, but that's a massive difference. And that's the difference in maybe 1 or 2 wins down the stretch of the season if he keeps that cut from 1.5 to 3%. Huge factor.
So for the defensive side of this equation, do you think it's more interceptions or fumbles that they've got to force? Because it feels like with the conservative coverage, they're less likely to be jumping in front of a ball, more likely to be waiting for the sure tackle and making sure that they limit the yak more so than they limit the completions themselves. So I kind of go back to, all right, are the linebackers really going to get in there, punch the ball out, and force a fumble or two?
I think that's probably what you're looking at is Antoine Peak. Can he come through again and keep climbing into the top 5 of program history in forced fumbles created? He has been, I believe, the 2nd highest graded player on the Bearcats football team this year behind Brendan Sorsby. He has just been an absolute revelation as a walk-on talent coming into the program from a couple years ago. But yeah, I mean, Cincinnati, the defense, they just have to find a way to create a better pass rush or produce more havoc. They got to find a way to do it. You got to find a way to make things crazy for this Iowa State offense that if you let it stay on schedule with a veteran quarterback in Rocco Becht, who's made, I believe, 30 plus starts in his career, They're just going to be able to dice you up and consistently work drives down the field. And yes, Cincinnati has been elite yards per play this season, but you don't really want to get in a scenario like you have been so often this year where you're only holding the ball for 23, 25 minutes. The other team's got it for 35 to 38, taking the air out of the football, completely obliterating your defense and their stamina. And then you're relying on those massive explosives that have been there this season, but you don't necessarily want to be relying on that each and every game, down to down, snap to snap. So a couple more sacks to throw off some drives from Iowa State, a couple more issues thrown into the mix for the Cincinnati Bearcats team in terms of pass breakups or forced fumbles or fumble recoveries is just going to be massive for this team that has not been getting after the quarterback so far this year. Cincinnati ranks 55th nationally with 10 sacks so far in the campaign. Not terrible, but you'd obviously like that number to be a little bit closer to the top 25.
So it's safe to say, if UC's defense can make Rocco's Modern Life hell at Nippert Stadium, we're going to see a win on Saturday. So we'll give you some predictions coming up here next. Today's Lockdown Bearcats is also brought to you by Peloton, because Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus, powered by Peloton IQ. It's their most advanced equipment yet, designed to give you real-time guidance and endless ways to move, whether you're running, lifting, or cross-training with your favorite instructors. This is training reimagined. Peloton is built for breakthroughs with tools that help you plan, stay motivated, and reach peak performance. The swivel screen on this Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus is a game changer. You can go from running on the Tread Plus to strength training without missing a beat. And the personalized class recommendations keep you engaged. Get your workouts tailored to your vibe and energy level each week with Peloton IQ. So let yourself run, lift, flex, and push forward. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus today at onepeloton.com. I encourage you to keep the conversation going with me and with Russ after the show is over. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Jeff Carr with 3 Fs for myself and at Russ Heltman 11 for Russ. And that's over on Twitter. You can follow us on TikTok and Instagram and all the wonderful socials at Locked On Bearcats. All right, Russ, this is the interesting part of this, because when it comes to predicting this game, feels like a lot of points. And I saw that the over-under has moved up to 55.5, and I still like the over on that, because I think that it's probably 58. Like, if I predicted a score right now, I would say Bearcats win 30-28. And I think that's
or 31-27. That 58 is the key number, really key number in this matchup right now.
I like that one a lot, but I was given a stat, and I don't know how much you take this into account, because you did give the good one about the ranked, Iowa State very, very much struggles when they're ranked and they go on the road. Rocco Becht, on the other hand, has never lost a game when he is less than a touchdown underdog. That was an interesting stat that I got from our Iowa State guy. So it's one of those, like, unstoppable force, immovable object, except in a gambling sense. But yeah, no, I still think that the Bearcats get a win here.
I'm with you. I think they do as well. It's just about Dontay for me. His return is the big factor here. Really, the injuries in general are the big factor for me here when we look at UC getting back Dontay Corleone, getting back Joe Royer, who was knocked out of the second half with a whiplash issue, and he's going to be completely fine this week. He was practicing like normal on Tuesday. He's not even listed on the injury report, versus an Iowa State team, Jeff, that is just completely depleted on the defensive backfield. Well, you look at Jontez Williams, their number one corner, out for the year, I believe. Jeremiah Cooper out as well for this game. They also have David Coffey, Cam Smith, and Keyshawn Cummings-Coleman. All two of those players, their safety issues going on there. Those players are all three questionable going into this game. All contributors in that backfield. I mean, that's 5 guys that they could be down potentially from a defensive backfield. That has been the strength of the team. Has been the strength of not necessarily the team overall, but of the defense in particular. When you look at an Iowa State team that is top 35 overall in pass efficiency and coverage grading per PFF, but that's not the group they're going to be rolling out there on Saturday that's top 35 overall. And this is a pass rush that's even worse than the Bearcats' defensive pass rush right now. 82nd nationally in sacks tallied so far this season by Iowa State. So given the injury issues for Iowa State, given how hot of a quarterback Brendan Sorsby is playing as right now, given how comfortable he is against these defensive looks, Iowa State plays a lot of quarters coverage, and Brendan Sorsby this season has a 64% success rate according to Action Network against quarters coverage and is producing an explosive play of 15 plus yards through the air every 3 dropbacks. I mean, that is unbelievable efficiency. And it's just, to me, too much of a problem for the Iowa State secondary to handle, especially when they're not going to be able, in my opinion, to get a good pass rush going against one of the better offensive lines in the entire country. Kansas had a 62% success rate on 26 carries last week. Dontay Corleone is going to come back and drop that success rate to closer to 35 to 44%. And it's going to be the difference in this game. Give me the Bearcats 31-28. And on top of that, Jeff, the forgotten phase, special teams, we mentioned the kicker issues. UC has, in my opinion, the best kicker in the country in Stephen Rusnak. He is on one of the longest consecutive made field goal streaks in the nation. He has not missed a kick since suiting up for the first time with Charlotte last year and has carried that into this week. Was the special teams player of the week with his 3 field goals against Kansas, needed every one of those. And I think they're going to need at least 1 field goal from him to get the job done on Saturday. He's the difference here up against a special teams unit for Iowa State that has a kicker who has never attempted a field goal as a true freshman right now in the college ranks. I don't even think they're going to attempt a field goal, and they're going to miss out on a couple 4th down tries because of that. And it's going to be enough to give Cincinnati more possessions and the 31-28 win.
I love that. And honestly, I did not know about the injured kickers coming into this. That's such a huge
they don't get talked
thing.
about a lot, but that's
Right.
I mean, in a game with a 1.5 point spread, huge factor.
Right, because they always say that the home team gets 3 points, and so they gave 1.5 points here to Iowa State, or at least at this moment right now. And the way that all the money's coming in, I kind of wonder if anything's going to change on the spread from now to then. But with all those injuries in the defensive backfield for Iowa State, I can't imagine that there's going to be a lot of money that comes in to change that spread enough to where that the Bearcats are not favored in this game. I think at best it goes up to a push. But for me, like I do think that they get the win in this one, at least by 2, if not, like you mentioned, by 4, because I just think they're going to be able to move that ball, like you mentioned. I'm curious too, like Iowa State's mindset, their defensive coordinator's mindset as they come into this game, knowing that so many guys are down, knowing that their pass rush is so lackluster. Do they change some things up and say, let's throw something at the wall, see if it sticks? It's going to be a hostile environment, which, by the way, needs to be a hostile environment, sold out crowds, stripe Nippert, all that good stuff.
If we can't pack Nippert this weekend, you're never going to do it. I
Right.
mean, this is get every possible human body in that building, because there's no, I mean, this is the most exciting time period for the program since they went to the college football playoff. Easily.
Yeah.
So this is the biggest game in a few years for sure.
Because I would say, like, they won against Kansas, and so, like, the Big 12's eyebrows kind of raised a little bit. If they beat Iowa State, that eyebrow is going to be up there. And everybody's going to be like, dude, the Bearcats are for real. They've got a real opportunity this week to come away with a big win and really announce themselves. And Scott Satterfield, I think, really, I mean, at least for me, quieted my criticisms for a week. He wins this game, I think the criticisms go away for a while. Like this is the game to really shut down all of that and start to cement some sort of a very good legacy and something that he can build upon for years and years.
Yeah, and it's just so funny how that works, man. Like you're one underthrown interception in week 1 away from being undefeated. They would be ranked right now, and one of the biggest stories of the early college football season. And you're also 1 inch, literally 1 inch from overthrowing Isaiah Johnson, or no, I think it was Noah Jennings, overthrowing on Noah Jennings on that 4th and 10 on the final drive of the game for UC and ending the football game, losing what would have been 34-28 or whatever it was, whatever the final score would have been, with Cincinnati needing to go up to 31-27 is what it would have been. So
yes,
it's crazy, man. It's such a nip-tuck league. So many results, win-losses come down to just one play, one moment, and 1 inch.
And we'll be back here Saturday night breaking this down, or at least I'll be back here Saturday night breaking down, hopefully, another Bearcats win. So make sure you subscribe to Locked On Bearcats. Make us part of your everyday routine. Hit that comment or hit that like button. Get down in the comments section. Just give us a thought about the Bearcats, because if you do that, helps out the algorithm, helps Bearcats fans find us more easily. Appreciate all of you. And now go check out the college football kickoff show on the Fire TV app. I actually got featured on there talking about why the Bearcats are going to beat Iowa State. I haven't watched it yet. I'm curious to see how they reacted to that. I'm sure that'll be some fun. But it's college football kickoff show on the Amazon Fire TV channels app. It's free and available every Thursday, just like Locked On Bearcats. We're free and available every day because we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team, your Bearcats, every single day. Russ, appreciate you, man.
Love it. Sorry again for the little pop up there. There was not what I wanted to do there. That was I had like a stray number come out of nowhere as well.
No worries at all.